Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here once again. Guess what? More classic Aerosmith coming at you. I managed to go 3 whole tutorials in a row without doing any Aerosmith whatsoever. Proud of myself, but we're back at it, obviously. Now, I don't know what it is, but these Aerosmith tutorials from their classic 70s period do really well for me here on my channel. So in that regard, I'm more than happy to keep giving the people what they want. Regardless, today we're going to have a look at how to play Last Child from the band's masterpiece album, Rocks. Let's close in and get started, shall we? Alright then, Last Child, Aerosmith from Rocks. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial. However, the studio version of this one is tuned down a half step, so know that. If you're going to play along with the studio version of this one, you're going to have to tune your guitar down a half step. But for simplicity purposes, for this tutorial, we're going to keep it in standard tuning. So this one has that quiet intro, right? Before dropping into the main riff. So we're starting with this little D minor triad here. D, G, and B string, 7, 7, 6. Just going to arpeggiate the top 4 strings down and back up again. And when you get back up to the D string, you're going to hit it twice and repeat. Then we're going to drop into this G5 chord. Same 3 strings, 5, 7, 8, open high E. Same picking pattern right there. We're going to move into this B minor 6. Pick it the same way, right? Same 3 strings, 9, 7, 9. Open high E. Down to the high E the second time. We're going to go back to the chord, strike all 3 strings together, move it up 1 spot, move it up 1 more. Right? And then we drop into the main riff. Which we're going to repeat 12 times, I think, at the beginning of this track. 4 times before the vocals come in, and then 8 more times during the first verse. Double hit of the 2nd fret. Then you're going to drop onto 4, then onto 5 of the A. Back to 4, then 2, 4, 5 again, and then down to 2 of the D. And before you repeat, you're going to hit that 2 of the D very quickly just before dropping back onto that 2 of the A to start it over again, right? Like I said, you're going to repeat that 4 times at the beginning and then 8 more times during the first verse. Then we drop into the pre-chorus. And we're going to repeat that 4 times along with the open A string. We're going to go 5, 7 of the D. Then we're going to back it up to 4, 5. Then we're going to back it up to 2, 4. And then open 2, 4, right? Four times, drop back into the main riff for 2 repeats. And then we're into the chorus. And then back into the main riff, leading into the 2nd verse. So what we're doing here, open D, and then you're going to grab the 11 of the G, little half step bend, release off to 9, back to 7. Back onto 9, back off to 7. Open A. Going to grab the 6 of the G after the open A. Little half step bend, release, and then 9 off to 7 of the D. Back to the 9. Slide it back to 5, right back into the main riff. So that's that little section. Now, underneath that is another guitar, you know, Brad, I suppose, just hitting a D power chord off to an A, grabbing the third fret of the low E, before going back into the main riff, right? And that just leads into the second verse, same as the first, back into another pre-chorus, chorus, same as the first, and that leads into the solo. So the solo to this one, great little solo. Mix of major and minor going on here in E, goes a little something like this. And that is the solo. So like I said, it's all going on in this box for the most part, this 12th fret position of the E major minor scale, right? And so we're starting here on the major third, just bouncing 13 to 14, right? Palm muted 6 times. And then you're going to come off that 14 right into a full step bend after you repeat it 6 times, full step bend of the 15 of the B. And then you're going to repeat that, but you're going to add 1 extra note. You're going to go back off to 13 the second time before going into the bend. Right, so the first time you go into the bend, you're coming off 14. The second time you go into the bend, you're coming off the 13. Right, and then we're into this. So basically unison bends, starting on the 12 of the high E, bending the 15 of the B, right, together twice. And then you're going to grab that 12 of the high E, quick little pull off from 15 to 12, up to the 15 of the blue note there, of the G string, back to this little double stop here on the 12s, and then 15, 14, 12 of the G onto the 14 of the D. Right? So from the beginning. Into this. So sliding into 11 of the D, down to the 9 of the G. Gonna hit that 3 times. Back up to the 11, back to the 9. Quick little pull off from 12 back to 9, grab the 11 back to 9. Another triple hit, back up to the 11 of the D and back to the 9. Right, that's that little lick there. And then we're going to slide that 9 right into 16 of the G, and then grab a little bar here on the 15s of the B and the high E, and you're going to go E up to B. Right into a full step bend on the 17 of the high E. And then you're going to release it back off to the bar and go E, B on the 15s. Into that. So we just finished on this 15. We're going to drop back on the 17 for 2 full step bends. Release it back to the natural note. And then another little rolling here on the 15s again. Right? E to B to E and then on to 17. Into this. So pulling off 17 to 15, up to 16, back to 15. Grab that 16 again, off to 14, slide it back to 13, and finish on the 14. Right? Kind of like that. So, up to that point. Right into this. So we're just holding a little bar here on the 14s of the G and the B, pulling off from 15 to the bar, basically like that, right? And then catching the G string. You're going to repeat that 5 times. A group of 3, little pause, and then a group of 2. And then you're going to drop onto 17 for a full step bend, and then while you have it up there, you're going to raise it another half step. Kind of like that, right into this. Pulling off 15 to 14, onto 12, roll it up to the 12 of the G. When you drop onto that 12 of the G, little half step bend. And then drop onto the 14 of the D with a double hit. Into this. 12, 14 of the G. 12, 14, 15 of the B, and then 12, 14, 15 of the B again, right? Finishing the solo with this. So, hammering on 14 to 15, pulling it back off to 14, pulling it back off to 12, up to the 14, back to the 12, roll back up to that 12 of the G, and then on to the 14 of the D. And when you get to that 14 of the G, you're going to pull it off to 12, do the same thing on the G string, right into a full step bend on the 15. Right? And that is the end of the solo. So let's take that solo right from the top, nice and slow, and then we'll be done. And there you go. And then just underneath that, right back into the main riff, and that main riff is just going to continue right until the end. And that, my friends, is how you play Last Child by Aerosmith. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.